Voltron Nevera versus Hyperia. These roller coasters both came out in 2024 and I've ridden them both already, so let's get into this video. And before you scroll all the way down to the end of this video, make your prediction in the comments right now. And it's very safe to say that these roller coasters didn't really have the best start. Hyperia had chain lift problems and it still does because it has valid 2 times now, and Voltron Nevera has also valid and it didn't start with the maximum ride capacity of 7 trains on the whole layout, so goddammit. Hyperia and Voltron are 2 very different roller coasters. Hyperia is a very tall roller coaster with a short layout and big elements, and Voltron is not the biggest roller coaster, but it has a huge layout with short, impactful and crazy elements. These 2 roller coasters only have one thing in common, and that is the manufacturer. Mack rides have of course made them both. And to start off this 1v1 roller coaster battle, let's start with the roller coaster stats of course. Hyperia is a tall hyper coaster made by Mack rides with a chain lift hill, and the height is 72 meters and that is 236 feet. The length of the ride is 995 meters and that is 3266 feet, and the maximum speed is 80 miles per hour and that is 130 kilometers per hour. And the inversion count can be debatable, but it says 2 inversions right here. Yeah, Voltron is a new striker coaster modeled by Mack rides and it has a lot of LSM launches. The height is 106.6 feet and that is 32.5 meters. The length is 4,544 feet and that is 1,385 meters. The maximum speed is 62 miles per hour and that is 100 kilometers per hour, and the inversion count is 7 on this ride. It's fun to see that Voltron doesn't even stand half of Hyperia's height, but the length of Voltron is still almost 400 meters longer. Now let's dive deep into this intense 1v1, which is the better ride. So let's dive deep into their layouts. As I've said in my Hyperia review, I think this layout is a 10 out of 10. Hyperia may only have a few elements, but all these elements are world class. The first drop is in my opinion the best roller coaster drop in the world. You really twist 180 degrees and go vertically down over 200 feet. What's not to like about that? In the back row it really feels like a car crash when you go down Hyperia because you get the lateral pull and the intense airtime from the whip. And now let's talk about the monstrosity of this outer banked inside beep 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 blah 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 roll. I don't know what to call it, man. This element flings you out of your seat and then it slowly twists you with your head upside down and your bum never hits the seat before you twist the way back again. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to describe it, but it's world class. I think it's one of the best elements I've ever experienced on a roller coaster, and that's period. Speaking of another world class element, the stall leaves you hanging there forever. So in my opinion, Hyperia has 3 elements that are world class, perhaps the best in the world. And funny enough, the rest of the 2 to 3 elements are just great. And the problem with Hyperia is of course the length of this ride, because you only have 5 major big elements. And the lack of elements is what stops most coaster enthusiasts from giving this a 10 out of 10, but I think these roller coaster elements are so world class that I just gave it. I don't care, man. Speaking of world class, let's talk about Voltron's best moments. What makes Voltron so great is its huge amount of elements, and all these elements are still great to world class. And the eye-catching beyond vertical launch into a hang time filled inversion isn't really the best element of this ride. Voltron features some of the most aggressive / strong airtime moments in the world. The airtime hill before the 2 Immelman inversion is very crazy, and the airtime hill after the 0G stall is also insane. But the best airtime moment goes to the outer bank airtime hill. This is the best airtime moment on Voltron because you have sustained crazy amounts of ejector airtime. And what's also crazy about Voltron is that it has 7 inversions that feels completely different from each other, except the 2 Immelman inversions in the middle, but they still give great airtime. The iconic inversion on Voltron gives a good amount of hang time, and the fast-paced corkscrew gives you great whip. In terms of what is the best inversion, this corkscrew gets the 2nd place. One of the best moments on Voltron is when you get launched into that huge 0G stall where you have a lot of hang time. And the pacing on this roller coaster is also crazy. Voltron keeps on giving and giving, from airtime hill to twist and turn to inversion and dive up, dive in, I don't know what to call it. The only moment when you get to catch your breath on Voltron is when you get to the turntable where you need to turn around and launch backwards into a little stall and then into another amazing launch, of course. So when you compare these 2 roller coasters, you can overall say we have these 2 world-class elements that are very different from each other. But in terms of presentation and theming, it is very easy to see who is the clear winner here. Hyperia looks awesome with the gold and white track, and the station looks clean and sleek with the gold, but there's not much theming there. In terms of theming and presentation, Voltron is the clear winner here. Everything from the themed area to the look of the queue and the look of the whole roller coaster, it just looks amazing. So now we come to the final part of this video, and Voltron is in the lead because it has the theming and the presentation on point. You can clearly see that Europa Park has gone all out with the budget for this roller coaster. But can Hyperia succeed in the layout? Let's see. In terms of the pure layout, both of these roller coasters have world-class layout designs. Hyperia's only con in my opinion is the length of the ride layout, and I can't really mention a con in Voltron's layout except the turnaround section, but you need that turnaround section for the theming and all the other trains that needs to go by. In terms of who has the best pure elements, Hyperia wins in this category. The first drop, outer bank turn and stall are just world class, but Voltron is not far behind with the world class layouts, but they have been seen before many of the elements. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to would I prefer a world class layout that's too short or world class layout that is very long. So you have a clear answer right here, and the winner for me at the end of the day is of course Voltron Nevera. Everything about this roller coaster is just impressive, from the theming in the station to the whole layout experience, and every element on this lengthy ride layout just hits. Every single element on Voltron is at least a 9 out of 10. And now we come to the end of this video. I would like to know if you've ridden Hyperia, have you ridden Voltron? I don't know, man, I've ridden both, but what are your thoughts and opinions in this video? I wanna know in the description. Come on, give me a like, I don't know, and bye.